All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I just want to thank you for being here this morning, here for the public launch of our 2023 Vote School Board First efforts. Um, so I think just to highlight what we're focused on here, I think the Vote School Board First Coalition are organizations that are working in and around public education here in the city of Pittsburgh. And I think through all of that work, we may have different focuses or strategies. We've all seen the importance of just how important having voters engaged with the process of selecting their school board members. And so this upcoming school board election, we are restarting those efforts that we do every other year. And just would like to ask a couple representatives from a couple different Vote School Board First organizations to just share why they're here and part of this efforts and why they think voting for school board first is important. So first off, I would like to introduce the Public Policy Director at Trying Together, Emily Neff.
Thanks. So we support high quality care and education for young children, and by supporting the educators and caregivers and families in their lives. And we know that research shows the most rapid period of brain development occurs during those first 5 years, and that kindergarten teachers and elementary school principals report that children who attend high quality early learning programs begin kindergarten with a strong foundation. And so Vote School Board First matters to us because we know that Pittsburgh Public School is the largest provider of pre-K in the city, and it offers programming for students through Head Start and pre-K counts, and it offers services for infants and toddlers and expecting families through early Head Start. And so as many families, or as many districts locally and nationwide recover from enrollment loss due to the pandemic, Pittsburgh Public Schools is well positioned to welcome families of the city's youngest children in their schools and programs. And we continue to support Vote School Board First because we know that school board directors are important policymakers in our community, making critical policy and budget decisions that impact our children from pre-K through 12th grade. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. Appreciate you being able to share that perspective from the early education world. Next up, I'd like to welcome and introduce the Executive Director of Lawrenceville United, Dave Bringen.
Thanks, Graham. My name is Dave Bringen. I'm the Executive Director at Lawrenceville United. We're a nonprofit community organization dedicated to improving and protecting quality of life for all Lawrenceville residents. And we know, education is such a huge part of quality of life and also the strength of any community. We cannot have strong neighborhoods without strong public schools. And our school board members are the most critical, governing body for determining what our public schools look like, what policies get enacted, and how we're measuring progress on our schools. I'll just say that, of course, we're invested in public schools because we care about our kids, especially our community's most vulnerable children. But public schools are also a community development issue because of the school to prison pipeline. They're a public safety issue. They're a workforce development issue. They're a real estate issue. Education is a housing issue, is a food access issue. So all of us depend on the quality of our public schools, and our education policy is intimately intertwined with all of these other critical aspects of a community's quality of life. So, our work at Lawrenceville United, I think it supports what's common sense and what research has consistently confirmed, that our kids do better and our communities do better when everyone takes responsibility for a kid's education. And part of that responsibility is engaging with the issues of our public school system, researching our school board candidates, and voting. So I urge all neighbors to embrace that responsibility this election season, and we are proud to stand with A+ Schools and so many other partners to be, once again, a partner on this Vote School Board First campaign. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. I just want to take a second to share some key dates and some of the work that the Vote School Board First Coalition is going to be undertaking. All right. So I'm sure as many of you know, yesterday was the date that candidates had to submit their nominating petitions to appear on the ballot, which means that today we know who will be appearing on that ballot, and we will be sending our candidate questionnaire to them. I encourage folks to go to voteschoolboardfirst.com. You can learn a little bit more about each district, which neighborhoods are in each district, which PPS schools are in those districts, and then come back to that website on April 1st when we'll be publishing the responses to those candidate questionnaires. Additionally, after the candidate questionnaires are posted, we'll also be doing brief 10 to 15 minute interviews with each candidate to sort of being able to follow up on some of the answers that they gave in their questionnaire. Starting this Saturday and just about every Saturday until the election, we'll also be doing direct voter outreach, doing door-to-door knocking, and also phone banking for those that can't get out on the doors. And I encourage anyone who's interested in joining those efforts to go to voteschoolboardfirst.org, where there's a sign-up form that they can join there. And then some of those big dates around the election, just to highlight that May 1st is our last day to register to vote. May 9th is your last day to apply for a mail-in or absentee ballot. And then May 16th is election day and also the last day to return your mail ballot. So I know we have some other members of the coalition on the call, so I just wanted to give anyone a chance. Oh, I see we have, let's go to another speaker. I'd like to introduce the Chairman and CEO of the Black Political Empowerment Project, Mr. Tim Stevens.
How are you all?
Great,
just
thanks,
coming
Tim.
over from another call with Peace is Possible Coalition. So glad to be with A+ Schools. We've been partners for quite a number of years. And James wanted me to share from a BPEP perspective the importance of voting for the candidates for the school board. I don't know about you, but I still remember some of my school teachers from back in the 1900s. They impact us all for life in many cases. I told Mr. Robert Cook probably over 20 years ago that he had something to do with the creation of the Black Political Empowerment Project, BPEP, which will be 38 years old on May 21st of this year. He was my social studies teacher. He stood at a podium. It's in a public school system in the Hill. He stood at a podium and talked about social studies and civics and all that. And he was one of my most impressive teachers. And I think he put into my mind the importance of civics and the importance of dealing with the issues of the world and the issues of your community. So when we elect school board members, we're electing people who will have an influence on how our system works, on how our system deals with our young people today, how our system deals with the inequities based on race and income and sexual orientation at times, that those who are elected have such an important role in determining the direction of our public school system. And I was mentioning to James that I was an ACP president for 10 years. It was a volunteer position. A lot of people thought it was a paid position, but it was not. But when I went to some of those school board meetings, I said to myself, and that was a difficult position, very time consuming. But I said, being a school board member might even be more intense and time consuming and challenging. So I salute any of these people who run and those who succeed and those who serve. And hopefully those of us who are citizens can have the sense to at least take the time to help choose who those persons are.
Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate those words. I know we have a lot of other members of the coalition on, so I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but wanted to, if the spirit moves you, if you'd like to share now, please do so. If not, I'm going to hand it over to James Fogarty, the Executive Director of A+ Schools, to close us out and give us our call to action.
And well, thanks everyone for joining us today. I think Tim Tim said it great, as did Dave, right? We know that school board members manage a budget that's no longer, but used to be larger than the city of Pittsburgh's. It's no longer that, but pretty large, close to the same amount, close to the same size as the city of Pittsburgh's. It is a system that still serves close to 20,000 students. Pre-K to 12, right? We are lucky in this system. Thanks, Emily, for being here to speak on behalf of our youngest children, to have quality pre-K available to families for free, or tuition if you don't meet the income threshold. We are a system that has a variety of CTE and magnet opportunities, but we are a system that still isn't meeting the promise of equity. We are a system that still leaves far too many children behind. I want to acknowledge school board member and A+ Schools board member, Tracy Reed Armont, who's here with us today, and to thank her and all of the other board members for the work they do, because trying to navigate a system that is large and complex with nearly 4,000 employees is difficult. And that difficulty, we wouldn't want it any other way. We know that trying to negotiate the variety of issues that our children face, that our teachers face in providing high quality instruction, is very difficult, right? So we want folks to go in with eyes wide open about the difficulty that they're going to face in this volunteer job. But we also want you to know you're not alone. The Vote School Board First Coalition, this group of organizations, is here to support you as candidates running and as school board members. This community backs its schools. We have one of the we have a generous tax base that we provide for the schools. We have tons of community-based organizations funded by one of the most generous philanthropic communities in the country, 4th per capita in the country. And so we know that even with the challenges that this district is facing, that we have an opportunity based on this strong community support. So we hope that the press, that the public sees this Vote School Board First Coalition as a vehicle to support the system in getting every child into every school every day. Because as a community, what we're promising is we're going to clear the path for our children to get to school ready to learn. That means our out-of-school time programs are there to support kids after school with tutoring, with social emotional learning, that our pre-K and childcare programs are there to help families so that children can learn and families can work. And that our systems, our neighborhood coalitions and programs like Lawrenceville United and the Squirrel Hill Urban Coalition are there to ensure that housing, vibrant main streets, that the things that make our communities worth living in are also there. What we ask of our school board members is to be diligent in the work that you do, to be thoughtful about the decisions that you make, and to focus like a laser on creating schools that are worth going to for our teachers, students, and families. We are not separate. We own these schools. These are our schools. We see them as such. And again, as an organization, our mission is really focused right now on getting every kid to every school every day. And the school board plays such a huge role in doing that, in how they support our building leaders, how they support our teachers, and how they support our students and families. So I encourage all of you to go out and vote school board first this election. I encourage all of you who are on this call to volunteer with the Vote School Board First Coalition, to knock doors, to inform our neighbors about the importance of school board and the critical time that we're in. We have a new superintendent. We have a lot of new board members. They need our help. They need our support. They need our participation. So I appreciate everyone who's joined us today on this call. We look forward to supporting this campaign, and we're hopeful that our candidates are ready to go. And we serve as a resource. All of us serve as a resource to help you understand the issues that you may be facing as you run for and then serve on the school board. So Graham, thank you so much for organizing this. To all of our coalition members who are here today, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And I'll hand it back to Graham for any final words or announcements if he has any.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. No final announcements. I encourage everyone to please go to voteschoolboardfirst.org. There's a wealth of information already there, and a reminder again to come back to voteschoolboardfirst.org on April 1st when those candidate questionnaires will be published. With that, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and hope you have a wonderful day.